The following Let's Play has been rated not safe for young children. Any attempts to break the game are for entertainment value only. However, if any typos happen to be found, Mwahaha! Hello everyone! Welcome back to... oh bloody hell, that doesn't look good. Something tells me things are about to get interesting. Or they better. I took a gamble when I ended the last episode in a cliffhanger, and I'm expecting a big payoff. Anyway, when we last left off, well, you can tell for yourself. The sky is this ominous blood red. What exactly is the purpose of that? I mean, well actually, what is the purpose of any of the curses that have taken place? I can understand demons crushing towns and killing people because they're demons, that's what they do. But what's with the weather effects? I mean, we've had storms, we've had perpetual night, we've had fog. Yes, fog. Apparently that's a curse. I gotta say, this is the more of all the curses that have occurred thus far, this is probably the most ominous because, well, the sky doesn't normally look like this. Anyway, let's talk to some people. Where's that? Here. Odds are people have to say something about this, and if they don't, I'll be really surprised. You know, I've heard that the Lupo Canis are in the process of rebuilding the village. I hope that it won't be in vain, but I'm sure the chaos will just plow through and destroy it again. So, nothing about the red sky, huh? Well, I guess we can't have everybody talking about the red sky. At the very least, this guy did say something different. Oh, this person. This person freaks out about snow, even though we're kind of walking on it. I've never been one to follow the sciences, but the Lupo Canis are rumored to know quite a bit about the nature of the world. However, I can tell you that the chaos coming to our world is no accident. It is fated by the prophecies. I'm sure of it. You're wrong. I actually have some stuff that I want to talk about, but odds are everybody's going to be saying something different, and I won't have much of a chance to get a word in. In fact, right here, I just had to stop and stand still for a moment just to explain that. If you're looking for the village of the Lupo Canis, it isn't in the main part of the Northland like this town is. You have to go through a small underground passage to reach it. Don't worry, there shouldn't be any monsters down there. We keep it cleared. I'm willing to bet that it's going to be filled with monsters. We're going to walk in and we're going to find that one of the wolves has been killed. Because if you recall, somebody mentioned that the wolves are actually guarding the entrance of the passage in order to keep monsters out. I've never traveled to Sant'Arte, but I would imagine that any and all knowledge you would ever need is contained in this world-famous archives building. It even contains the handwritten scrolls of the prophets from the early times. As for the scientific texts, I believe anything that still exists is there as well. Eventually we'll be going back there, but so far the story hasn't decided that we're supposed to. I don't know if I buy into this whole idea of an empty void. I understand that the theory makes sense, but there's no proof behind the theory. How did the ancient researchers know that stuff? However, I will admit that I haven't read all of the old texts. You know, he actually makes a good point. How do these people find out this stuff? Maybe they just notice the patterns of, like, planets and stuff. Like, I know at certain points of the year, as we pass by certain planets, they appear to go one direction and then slowly turn back the other direction before moving back the direction they were going, as far as our point of view can tell. So maybe that was a clue into how they figured out eventually that the planets didn't revolve around us, but instead we revolved around the sun and the planets were also revolving around the sun. I'm starting to think that science may not be able to explain everything that exists in and around our world. It certainly doesn't explain the chaos or the light in the sky, and these plagues that seem to come and go, what about them? You know, the people here seem to be the only people since the beginning of the game that are even talking about the light in the sky. I think there's one more person out here, and then we're going to see the mayor, because odds are the mayor is going to be the person who will tell us where to go next, since she was the person who told us where to go last time. The theory about the empty void has essentially been taken as fact for a very long time. Nobody in recorded history has ever been able to disprove the theory. However, that does not make the theory correct. People tend to forget that. Let's see what the mayor has to say for herself. Good luck to you all. Well, that ain't helpful. Alright, so I guess we're just going to have to look around for the passage. It probably should not be too difficult to find. Actually, hold on a sec. Do I have stuff that I want to sell or anything? Well, my inventory is full, so I will want to sell something. I also have a couple of accessories that are sitting in my inventory that I may not wind up using. It might be better off just to sell them. Except that one. That one's pretty good. If I could just figure out who I want to equip it to. I did notice that this was sitting in my inventory. I got this from the boss fight in the last episode, and I forgot to go over what it did. Ring of Judith. A ring that increases the wearer's agility, strength, and magic defense. So it's basically... So it's like the opposite of the Ring of Solomon. The Ring of Solomon is magic-based, while the Ring of Judith is physical-based. Although it doesn't increase defense, it also increases magic defense. I will say that it actually sounds like a pretty decent item to equip. I mean, 10 points extra for attack power, that's 10 extra damage. Question is there anybody I want to equip it to? No, not really. I mean, Hrothgar and Ariel both have silver rings, which multiplies their speed by like 1.5 times. And the amount of times that they're going to be attacking makes up for the not 10 points extra of damage. And Lester, I want him to keep the escape ring because I probably will want to escape every now and then, and having a guaranteed escape is pretty dang nice. Although, who knows, I might drop the escape ring for something else temporarily and just equip the escape ring whenever I feel like exploring and I need to get out of a dungeon or something without taking damage. I don't know. I guess in that case he would equip the Ring of Solomon. And then Jakala still has the spell ring, which restores MP during battle. And I want to keep that because he's the healer of the group. And this would pretty much almost guarantee that he's never actually going to run out of MP. I think I will go ahead and sell the Ring of Jacob because, as I mentioned before, raising your intelligence does diddly squat, and raising your agility by 10, I don't see that having that much of an effect. I suppose it might be useful for Jakala to wear it in case I don't want him recovering MP, because this would give him a bit of a speed boost, but not much to make it worth it. The Ring of Judith I'll probably just save for now because we're due for one more party member to my understanding, so that person might need the Ring of Judith. Or some other item. In the meantime, I guess I can equip this for Lester. I will say though that it is kind of unusual that this magic ring is affecting luck, which affects critical hits, and you can't get critical hits with magic. If anything, I would have had the Ring of Solomon increase agility, and the Ring of Judith increase luck. Then again, if the magic person happens to be saving their MP and is using physical attacks, the extra luck would probably be beneficial. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna sell stuff to clear out my inventory space. That one accessory that I said I'm going to sell, I'm definitely gonna sell. I'll meet you outside town. Alright, continuing forth. Let's see, there's the tunnel that we came to the Northlands from, to how we got here. There's the shelter, and wait. Okay, so I guess the path to here we are. There's a cave over here. This is probably the cave we want to go to, heading to the Wolf Town, whatever they were called, the Lupo Canis, the town of the Lupo Canis. I'm already halfway there. This episode is not leaving me much time to talk about other stuff. Actually, it is going to give me time to talk about other stuff, because supposedly there will not be any monsters in here. Let's see if that's actually going to be the case. Is that the exit just like across the... Well, as long as there's no monsters, I can dawdle about and find breakable walls and hopefully talk about what I want to talk about. Some of you have noticed that I've been gone for over a week. I've been at MagCon, the RPG Maker mini convention that RPG Maker magazine has been hosting. I would have told you all that I was going to be going there at the end of the last episode, but of course the last episode ended in a cliffhanger and I couldn't give a real close out thing for the episode. But yeah, that's pretty much where I've been. I was expecting there to be a Lupo Canis in here, considering I was told they're guarding it. Anyway, if anybody wants to see what we've been up to at MagCon this year, I'm going to have a link in the description for you all. Some of you might find it interesting because we wind up playing one of the most infamous games on RPG Maker. Alright, we've made it through the underground road in one piece. Now we got a forest, and I can't tell where the town of the Lupo Canis is. Oh, there it is. Oh, this is the border of the map. It's kind of a shame that RPG Maker 3, you're kind of forced to have an invisible border. Most RPG Maker games, if you have an invisible border at the edge of the map, it's a sign of bad map development. But here, it's kind of mandatory. Unless you want to have the entire map be an island in the middle of the ocean. Alright, let's head into Alwyn. Well, I gotta say they've made better progress rebuilding the town than the lizard people have managed. I mean, they got actual buildings. Then again, maybe this isn't actually the town of the Lupo Canis. Actually, it is the town of the Lupo Canis, because normally these are lookout towers, these wooden structures like that one and that one over there. But I think the idea here is that these are buildings that they're being rebuilt, which is a nice use of the lookout towers. Alright, so the Hound. I wonder if the people of the Lupo Canis find the name of this building, this shop, unoriginal. I mean, it's like if we had a shop in town that was called The Person, or The Human, or the Homo sapien? Oh, hey, look, it's a Homo sapien. Alright. Let's see what new equipment we've got. Well, offhand, I'd say that we don't have anything new. Except an axe. We don't have anybody that equips an axe right now. However, I'm willing to bet that before we leave this town, we will. Oh, which means we're going to have another point where we want to switch party members. I should totally prepare for that. If I had to guess, what's going to happen is it's going to be another just switch out your animal sort of deal. Which is kind of a shame because, if anything, I'd want to switch out Ariel and keep a couple animal characters. Alright. I don't think there's anything that he has that I want to save. And I'm about to find treasure chests as I explore, so I'm not going to be passing items around just yet. So, eventually we're going to wind up talking to a person somewhere in town, one of the wolves that is going to be joining my party. Question is, which wolf are we going to be talking to do that? Blackwood Blade. That is for Chanticleer. I don't know if I want to keep that or if I just want to sell it, because I'm not going to have Chanticleer until the final dungeon, pretty much. Strong versus undead, attack power of 20. Compared to this, okay, so it's our current level of equipment. Still, they actually sell those here, so I might, if I sell it, I'll just buy it again if I have to. Private home, private home. I just realized that this town is not having much slowdown. I mean, there's a bit of slowdown right there, but it's not terrible, and I'm all at the far edge of the town, and most people aren't actually going to be standing there. Alright, there is slowdown here. Overall, it's not as bad as the last town we were in. Alright. Any guesses which wolf we want to talk to in order to progress with the story? Well, actually, I might as well go ahead and give somebody one of these items real quick. Because if it turns out that the wolf person is going to be one of these townsfolk that is wandering around, I'm probably not going to be able to figure out how I want to explain my thoughts right now. But trust me, I definitely am going to decide to pass one of these items to another person. Actually, I could pass two of them, maybe. Depends on if I find any more treasure chests, I guess. Alright, let's start with talking to this person. Slowly but surely, the village is being restored to the way it was before the chaos attacked. Many of the buildings are still under construction, however, and as a result, many of us are staying at the inn. Oh, so if we go into the inn, we'll find people inside the inn. Which might mean that the person who is going to join our party next is inside the inn. Hakela lives in this long house here. While many of the modern-day Lupo Canis know very little about the early times, Hakela knows things that not even the oldest humans or radio heirs know. He can probably answer any questions you might have. Or maybe the next party member is in this house. In which case, we're just going to go there last. I did not expect the back area to expand in this direction so far. Nothing really back here, though. Much of the town is still being rebuilt. We've sent a few Lupo Canis to other towns to recruit some additional help, but I think the project is moving fairly smoothly. All of the facilities are up and running as well. Alright, here we are on the right side of this church, and there's a treasure chest right here. Which means Chanticleer is going to be getting whatever is in here. Or not Chanticleer. Oh, never mind, it's gold anyway. Not that I need a whole lot of gold anymore. Alright, I've finished exploring the outskirts of the town, and well, I'm back to that last wolf I was talking to, so let's explore the inners of the town from here. That almost sounds nasty. Treasure chest in here? No. You're not making very good use of a potential hiding space for a treasure chest. Oh well, maybe there'll be another town that has a treasure chest hidden inside that spot. Oh, what do we got here? We got buy tours. What? Buy tours? Is that a pun? Is that a pun on biter? Like somebody who bites? Is this a restaurant? Oh, that's a butler. Welcome. What can I do for you? Oh, it's a shop. Well, what kind of shop? Just potion shop. Buy tour. That's gotta be a pun. Would have made a better pun for a restaurant instead of a potion shop. But whatever. It's dark now. Sky is still a deep red, but stars are out at least. Okay, maybe I was wrong about this place not having much slowdown. Currently, the Archives building in Sant'Arte is the only place that keeps any records from the early times. You know, that's actually kind of strange considering we're in the town of the Lupo Canis and they're... Wait, no, the lizard people were one of the oldest people around, and that town was destroyed, so I guess it makes sense that the Archives building in Sant'Arte would be the last place for the Archives. That decision was made a long time ago, and the argument for it was that anyone could go there and get any information he wanted. The problem is that if something happens to the building, all the information will be gone since it's all in one place. Oh, so it was an actual decision to just put it all there. Kind of an interesting choice. Well, it's a good thing they didn't put it in the lizard town. The shelters are the only safe haven left for some people. Please, for their sake, let the chaos remain ignorant to their existence. Too late. Oh, here we are. Should have put it in there. Judgment? A hammer. Okay. As for my lizard person here, how fortunate that is already in his inventory. Oh, it's what I already have. What is even the point? The chaos? Oh, there's all kinds of questions to be asked and answered about them. Nothing is really known for certain. If you think the answer is connected to the sciences, you should talk to Akela. He knows his stuff. I can't help but notice that nobody so far has actually talked about how the sky has turned that blood red. In fact, nobody's been talking about any of the weather curses since the fog curse. And you would think that a red, ominous sky would be a lot more worth talking about than fog. While the Lupo Canis may be the youngest of the anthropoid species... Oh yeah, youngest, I was going to say. We are the most heavily involved with the sciences of the early times. Of course, I couldn't tell you any of the discoveries we made since everything was published anonymously. Did I mention that I think dogs are the next in line to evolve the ability to talk? Well, that happened here. The dogs were evolved after the humans. Snow dogs. Man, the people here just don't know how to come up with an original name. So these are regular items, I'm betting. Bronze ring, escape ring. Wait, what's all this other stuff? Dragon cuts, delicious cake. I'm sure I'll find them anyway, and yeah, I'm sure I'll find them anyway, so I won't bother buying them. Nice to know that you could buy an escape ring here. But that won't do me any good if I'm in the middle of the dungeon and need to escape there. So I'm not selling my escape ring. We done exploring then? I don't think we've gone into this building. Where's the entrance to it? Oh, hey. Treasure chest in here? Nope. Alright, what is this place? Oh, it's the inn. It's a really big inn. But I guess that makes sense since there's supposed to be wolf people in here. However, there are no wolf people in here. Well, so much for people staying at the inn. Speaking of which, I noticed that there are no random encounters on the world map here in the Northlands. So I don't really have to stay at the inn for any reason. I already stayed at the inn after I left that dungeon last time. Alright, that only leaves one place to go to. That long building that the next party member is certainly in. But first, I decided that I wanted to save. Did I explore behind this building? Pretty sure I did. Did I explore right here? Oh, so there is another private home in town. Alright, well, let's go ahead and meet our next party member. Akela. I'm kind of curious if there's anything in here. I don't know why I'm curious about if there's anything in here. Actually, I know why I'm curious if there's anything in here. It's because I saw a bright glow over here, but it's just the side of a box. I gotta say that the fact that there's a glow around this light, that's kind of a nice touch. It's default to RPG Maker 3, so it's not something that Chronicle Games added, but I still like it. Suffers the same issue that the trees do whenever you go behind them, though. I already know your name, you're Akela. Hello, travelers. Is there something I can do for you? You're Akela, the expert on the sciences of the early times, right? Hey, if I didn't talk to all the townsfolk here, would Lester know this? That's correct. I assume you've come to have your questions answered. Yes, we're looking for some kind of connection between the sciences and the chaos. Is there anything at all that you can tell us? If you want the right answers, then you must start by asking the right questions. From the time the sun set up to until now, nobody's asked the right question. Like, what is the deal with the red sky? Everyone is getting so caught up in the old legends, asking if the world is going to end, asking what we did to deserve the divine punishment, asking if the folklore and prophecies are going to come true. Everybody is so caught up in asking about the chaos, but the chaos are not the key. Then what is the right question? What is it that we should be asking about? The light in the sky. Obviously. You should be asking about the light in the sky. I was right. Do you know what the light in the sky is? Oh my gosh, are we actually going to find out? Oh! No, but somebody did. Long ago. Long ago? What do you mean? I mean that the light in the sky has as much to do with the sciences of the early times as any other natural phenomenon. Are you saying that the light in the sky is a natural phenomenon? Yes. How do you know this? And who is this somebody of whom you speak? Now you're asking the right questions. Long ago, there was a scientist here in the Northland by the name of Jeffrey Obercotter. But I thought all the ancient scientists were anonymous. Well, Obercotter wasn't, but he was not well known, which was probably for the best. You see, he did his research and published his papers for quite some time. Then, he disappeared. I'm almost willing to bet that eventually we're going to go to that laboratory that the demons were talking about a few episodes back, and the ghost of Oberkotter is going to be there. Or maybe the zombie of Oberkotter. He just disappeared? That's correct. He was never heard from again. It's mysterious, sure, but not entirely suspicious. People have disappeared before, but what made it suspicious was that anybody who knew about him and his research also vanished. Even long after, when somebody brought up his name, that person disappeared shortly after. Are we going to be disappearing now? Eventually, people who knew about him learned to keep quiet. The rest of the world completely forgot about his existence. So that's why I've never heard about him before. And his research was about the light in the sky? It was. Does that mean there have been other lights in the sky before the chaos? Yes, Jeffrey Oberkotter's research was about the natural world, like most others, but something about his research led to his disappearance. That means he discovered something that somebody didn't want getting out. It also means that somebody else had already discovered it, or at least knew of its existence. Akila, do you know the details of Oberkotter's research? No. Most of his work had vanished just as mysteriously as he did. However, I do know one thing. Oberkotter had a research laboratory here in the Northland. If any of his research still exists, it would either be in the Sant Arte archives or in his own laboratory. Well, we already visited the archives, once as part of the story, and the other time just to find out if the story was going to happen again, and they weren't there. So, odds are they're in his laboratory, which you would think after all this time would have been destroyed. In fact, if somebody was wanting to hide his research, it wouldn't make sense to leave the research behind in the laboratory. You'd think it'd just be destroyed. Where in the Northland is the laboratory? It is far south of Aelwyn. If you really want to learn the answers, you should go there and see what you can find. I'm sure there is a connection between his research and the appearance of the chaos. The answer is waiting to be found. Alright then, let's go find the answer. Oh, this person's not even joining our party yet. Alright then. I guess we're going to have our healer for a little bit longer. So, our next destination has been revealed. Next time, we're going to the laboratory to see if we can find any of Oberkotter's research still intact. I'll see you then. I'm starting to think that science may not be able to explain everything that exists Oh, sorry. For a moment there, I kind of... Oops. Let's just try that again. I'm starting to think that the Darn it.